Thursday, July 19th, about 6 a.m. Realize it's been about a month since I've done one of these videos. A couple of things that I want to showcase right now. If you guys remember from last video, the zucchini that I was talking about was called Dunja, that was powdery mildew resistant. We've gotten about, I'd say about 4 or 5 off of these 2 plants already. And I'm going to come down in here. Actually, you know what? I didn't even notice this one when I first got here about 10 minutes ago. But there is another one right here. Actually, no, there it is right there. I was showing an unpollinated one. So this plant is still producing. And that actually doesn't surprise me. Anybody that grows zucchini knows that it will not stop until you get an act of God to kill it. But over here, take a look at this one. This one is the one I posted the other day that I said estimated, it was actually Tuesday, that I said I estimated it to be about 3 or 4 pounds. It is probably closer to 5 now. Look at this thing. Good Lord. Yeah, I think we'll be coming back up and getting that tonight. Watermelons. Lots of them. I've been posting pictures every day. This is just to give you perspective. This is the one that I have been posting every day. You see the size of it now, and everybody has actually been saying to me, well, how big really is that? It's kind of hard to tell from the picture when you don't have anything for comparison. So let me put my hand over it, and you see it actually covers up the entire thing. And I think we had, let me just take a quick look. I know there's at least one other one on this vine. It's actually right here to my left. It is, you see right here. And I thought we had at least one more on this one. I'm just taking a quick look. I don't see any. Doesn't mean they're not here. It's impossible to tell with a watermelon because they're all running all over the place. But you can see here, trusty water bottle technique again. Even though it poured like hell Tuesday night, anybody in this area knows that. It's been probably 5 days, 5-6 days, and the bottle is just now finally empty. But I don't think I have to do any more for that one. The broccoli did not turn out the way I had hoped it would this year. We have gotten a couple of heads. See, a lot of it also here is about to open up and flower. That's okay because I'll leave it. That will attract the bees. But here, let me just show you down here. A lot of people know that when you cut the main head of a broccoli plant, it will actually start to produce side shoots similar to what you see on a raw veggie platter. And here's a very good example. You can see right in here where I cut the stem, where I cut it originally. You can see the side shoots that are popping off here now. Let me move down here. The peas that just wouldn't die, finally, I pulled them a few weeks ago. Not a few weeks ago. What am I talking about? A few days ago. And did a fall sowing of them on this side of the bed. This over here, this is crabgrass here, so let's ignore that. But you can see right here, they're starting to come up. These, again, these were called, what were these called? Super Sugar Snap from Burpee. They're an heirloom. Oh, look at that. I found another one. Right here. And if anybody is looking to grow peas, I will highly recommend these things. They are heat resistant and extremely prolific. I did not ever think in my 35 years of doing this that we would ever get peas into mid-July, but we did. Rogue carrots. So, and look, oh, here's another one. Here's another one right here. Yes, we could just sit here all day and watch these. That's how quickly they're coming in. Let me see, it's moved down over to here. I hate weeds. Okay. Peppers, Not getting too much. I never really have too much luck here with these, but you can see we do have, there's one here and another one over here. A couple of good sized ones coming in. Brussels sprouts, let me see if I can get in here. You see them all coming. If I lift up these leaves, you can see at the bottom of the stalk where I have, I don't know if you can. Nah, it's a bad angle. But where I had pulled off all the dead leaves before, that's what you're supposed to do, like I said, with them. As the leaves, the lower leaves of the plant die or turn yellow, you're supposed to be breaking them off to promote more growth for the sprouts and more room. Speaking of more growth, good Lord, look at this thing. This yellow watermelon vine that I talked about, the ratio of male to female flowers on this vine has got to be at least 20 to 1. I'm pretty sure, because I saw a tiny one here the other day, and there's just not enough time in this video to go through this entire thing and try to find where that female flower is again, but I'm sure it's in here somewhere. So I'm going to take a quicker, or more thorough look, I should say, not quicker, more thorough look for it this evening. Let me see if we come over here to, these are cantaloupes, and I believe there was one down here. Yep, there's one right there, and we can tell that it's been pollinated. You'll look at the end of the blossom and it's all brown and withered up, and there is a cucumber beetle who is no longer with us. You can look over here, pan out across this vine. It's getting tangled up with the yellow watermelon, actually. Come on, boys. Plenty of room for everybody here. Come on. At least there should be plenty of room for everybody. All right, there we go. Oh, here's the growing point. Actually, here's a growing point of the yellow watermelon. Oh, hello. Look at that. Surprise. I did not know about that. Certainly not going to complain, though. All right, let's see what else we have. Pole beans. These are starting to do their thing, getting tangled up with each other and climbing up the poles. Don't see any flowers yet, but these are usually not till late July, early August anyway, so not overly concerned about these. Kale, still coming in good. As I have been for a long time now, still fighting with cucumber beetles. You guys just saw me kill one. This, I don't know, I pulled off an entire leaf this morning that had about 4 or 5 pairs of beetles, you know, making each other happy, if you know what I mean. Pulled off that leaf, stepped on it. This vine over here seems to be doing a lot better over here. If you do have problems with cucumber beetles, they recommend Nasturtium. I've tried it a couple of times. It does work to an extent, but even, you know, it doesn't really keep them all away. But thankfully, on this side over here, the cucumbers that Zachary started at daycare seem to be unaffected. As a matter of fact, I'll pan back over here. You see they're coming through the bottom of the trellis, and we actually do have a pollinated one. I don't know if I'm in focus. Pollinated one right there. So those hopefully be doing okay. Acorn Squash, you know, I don't think I took this one in the last video. This, we take a look down here. Got one growing right there, and I think there are a couple of more in here. At least I thought there were a couple of more in here. I don't see any right now, but I'm sure they'll be coming out fairly soon. As will these butternuts here. They're called winter squash for a reason. No, it's not till almost fall when you actually start getting them. So these butternuts here, That's a spaghetti squash here. And before I leave this area, you see, I don't know, I can't really tell how good this lighting is going to be because I'm looking right into the sun at this hour, but here are the tomatoes. And as a matter of fact, I got to tie some more of these up. These are out of control. 3 of these, the 3 in the front here, are Rapunzel Cherry. If anybody is interested in growing a cherry tomato from seed, I highly recommend this variety. You can get them from Totally Tomatoes. They are absolutely gorgeous, prolific, and let me see if I can show you over here if I come into the middle. The growth habit, aha, there's a perfect one. The growth habit of these, look at how they grow, like, well, cherries grow in a cluster anyway, but look at how these cascade downward. Absolutely beautiful. I love these. And they, like I said, they're very prolific, very sweet, and anybody who thinks a tomato is difficult to grow from seed has actually probably never tried it, because these do, and it's not as difficult as you think it is. As a matter of fact, I think what I'll probably do next year is do a video on seed starting, even though we already have a class for it. Look at this. Look at this cluster right here. Even though we already do have a class on seed starting, I'll probably actually do some videos on it. Out of the way, guys. There's one right there. And I'm going to go show a few more of the Rapunzels before we move on to the 3 plants in the back. There's some in there right there. Probably see them through the... They're on the back side of that plant. And there's some more. That is horrible, Eric. That's a horrible angle to try to get that at. Let me come over here. There are some more red ones in here. Focus right there. Pull these leaves out of the way. Well, where'd they go? Aha! Perfect, right there. Okay. And then in the back, we have Gladiator Romas. Also, well, these are from Burpee. I think these were, they are a Burpee exclusive, and they were new either this year or last year. But these are Romas. Each one of them gets to be about 8 to 12 ounces. Look at these things. I'm afraid, you see my twine for this branch ends right there. I'm afraid to tie the rest of it up because I don't want it, you know, I'm afraid of breaking the branch. There's so many of them and they're so heavy. But here's a cluster down here that I'm probably going to have to because they're laying on the ground. This is actually a new bed that I put in this year, and the mix is, the medium is just Miracle Grow organic potting mix. Hello, Miracle Grow organic raised bed soil. And I mean, I think these results speak for themselves. I've fertilized exactly 1 time with Alaska fish emulsion. It's a 5-1-1 composition. As a matter of fact, everything in here has been only fertilized once with 5-1-1. And I think, you know, you can see how well everything's doing here. Somewhere in here, Zachary has some marigolds and Lisa has some basil, but everything's just taking over everything. But I am certainly not going to complain. All right, let me see. Oh, you got a few more minutes. I do have to go to work this morning. Boo. More watermelons here. We got there's one right here. New pollinated one. I mentioned in one of my posts that massive one that well, not massive, but the one I compared my hand to at the beginning was the size of a golf ball 3 days ago now, actually. And that's probably, that one right here on this vine here is probably the size that it was 3 days ago. So that's, and actually there's a third one right there. And I think there were 2 decent ones on this side, if not at least one. Yep, there it is right there. So we got 4 right now growing on this vine. Now we're going to have a 5th. We're going to have a 5th. I don't know if I got it, but we are going to have a 5th one I just saw. And the last thing back over to here. We'll do it from this side because, again, the angle of the sun at this hour is the corn. I did show this in the July 26th video. We see we have definitely well surpassed where we were at that point. As a matter of fact, 3 of them over here, the 3 that Zachary did at daycare, 1, 2, and 3 have already started to tassel. As a matter of fact, this one in the front has got silks already. So, like I said, corn is supposed to be planted in a block to ensure good pollination. What I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to shake the stalk a little bit, and that actually loosens the male pollen up here in the tassel, the main part of the stalk. And what you're trying to do is get it onto the silks down here. And that is what pollinates corn. And as a matter of fact, each one of these individual silks, that you pull off when you're about to cook corn, each one of these individual silks leads down to a kernel inside, on the cob. So that's why you want to make sure that it's planted in a block to ensure good pollination. And actually, look, I see some more silks right here. So I did fill in the gaps here using plants that one of the neighbors up here at the community garden gave us. I don't know how well these are going to be, but hopefully what do we have here? 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14 that I planted from seed that came up will be enough for pollination. This thing is absolutely huge right here. Let me turn the camera this way. If I stand next to it, you're not going to be able to see a shot, but it's up to my hip. I'm 5'9", and it's up to my hip already. And we have a tassel starting right here. So that's the way everything is looking right now. So if you guys have any questions or anything, check out our website, blackstonevalleyveggiegardens.com, or send us an email. Thanks.